Africa's last absolute monarch, who is the Eswatini Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku, has said he needs to enact reforms in the wake of pro-democracy protests that had rattled the country since June.
So, if you're preoccupied with that and someone else is saying, I would challenge those who say there is no democracy. I would support those who call for reforms. But we would have to get those items that require the focus of reform. The situation.
Protests erupted in May after a law student's bloodied body was found dumped in the bush. Fellow students blamed police for the killing and began staging protests demanding direct elections.
I agree there's been unrest. People calling it political unrest, others calling social unrest. Whatever the case is, there has been some disturbances in the country. We need to have some change because these are the 2000s. It's not the 1990s. It's not the 1910s.
The pro-democracy movement last week rejected the palace call for dialogue, accusing the monarch of seeking to appease mediators. The South Africa's veteran anti-apartheid icon Desmond Tutu on Saturday appeared before journalists for the third time in 2021 to cast an early vote for local elections this week. Tutu, who recently turned 90, voted alongside his wife Leah in their Cape Town home. The couple have cast their ballots for local elections that will take place on November 1st. Tutu had previously appeared in May for COVID-19 vaccination with his wife. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1987 and has undergone repeated treatment. He was last seen in public on his 90th birthday on October 7th, attending the special church service in Cape Town. Another round of demonstrations in Sudan. The Sudan's military coup opponents are demonstrating against General Abdel Fattah el-Burhani on Saturday, determined to get the democratic transition back on track despite 5 days of deadly repression. On Saturday, a fast march started from Omdurman, Khartoum Twin City. A security forces cordoned off the capital, blocking bridges linking it to the suburbs and searching passers-by and cars. Saturday's protests were likely to increase pressure on the general, who already faced mounting condemnation from the US and other Western countries to restore a civilian-led government. The demonstrations under the ban of going backward is impossible were called by the Sudanese Professionals Association and the so-called resistance committees. The military takeover has threatened Sudan's fragile Western-backed transition to democracy, which got underway more than 2 years ago. Moroccan Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita welcomed the UN Security Council's calls on his country, neighboring Algeria and Polisario, to resume negotiations towards a resolution in Western Sahara, as well as the renewal of a UN mission in the disputed territory for a year. This decision was passed by 13 votes and 2 abstentions. Morocco welcomes and appreciates the United Nations Security Council's decision and considers it very important. The resolution calls for a goal of self-determination of the people of Western Sahara, a phrase that diplomats said was added by the United States at the behest of Russia, which would have vetoed the text. Today, the problem is between Algeria and the Security Council's resolution, not between Algeria and Morocco. Today, if Algeria has a problem, it is with the international community and with the Security Council, which has mentioned at the round table as the exclusive framework for the continuation of the process at least 3 times, and called on Algeria to participate in this round table process 5 times. Moreover, throughout the process of finding solutions, Algeria is obliged to be constructively and realistically involved. Algeria earlier this month has voiced its formal and irreversible rejection of talks in roundtable format. The spokesperson for Sudan's main opposition coalition, the Forces for Freedom and Change, the FFC party, on Friday criticized the U.S. decision to withhold over $700 million in aid to the country, saying Sudan should not have to be punished for what occurred in the previous regime under former President Omar al-Bashir. With regards to the position of the U.S. government in stopping its aid of $700 million during the transition period, the United States was the only country that fined Sudan for more than $400 million. They fined us more than $400 million for crimes that we did not commit, but were committed by the previous regime. We cannot allow them to buy our political decision for $700 million. Since the announcement of foiling a coup attempt on September 21st, the disagreements between the military and civilian partners in the transitional government have continued to escalate. The Sudanese army on Thursday moved to reopen some of the streets and bridges which had been blocked by demonstrators with strict inspection measures in place. The Arab market in central Khartoum has also been reopened, and many vendors have returned to their booths to resume businesses.
Transportation was difficult, and we were waiting from morning till evening until the people could move through. And now, thank God, the market is good, the people are there. We went down to work, and we will continue to work, and the country is safe and the bridges are open.
Since the coup happened, the capital Khartoum has been witnessing street demonstrations rejecting the military intervention and demanding a civilian government.